Jennifer Jennings. My first AU Skarloey Railway engine. She's the Skarloey Railway's number 15 and is one of only 2 or 3 narrow gauge female engines and one of only 2 or 3 tender engine narrow gauge engines. So yeah, she's a real rarity. Anyways, enough of that, let's get into her history. Here's an issue I had. I couldn't find any history on the Fletcher Jennings Class CB, which is her basis. So I'm just going to make a random AU of her. Jenny was built in 1877 by Fletcher and Jennings. At first she went to serve a ballast mine, where she met a Fletcher Jennings F-Class, and they'll get to see each other later. As I always say, that's a story for another day. In 1881, she was in for a regular overhaul, but thanks to a shortage of parts, it took nearly 4 months for her to get fully repaired. In the grand year of 1890, when her ballast mine closed, she was sent to work on a small Welsh narrow gauge railway, but unfortunately that didn't last long either. Because only 45 years later in 1935, she was sent to work at a small narrow gauge shunting industry, where she met a number of engines. In 1940, she saw the awakening of Rusty by Ruston and Hornsby. In 1950, when returning to the transfer yard where she worked at, she got cut off by a landslide. It took nearly a week to get all the mud out the way. In 1961, 2 Baldwin engines joined the railway she worked at. A Baldwin 1012D 460 called Hunter and a Baldwin 040 saddle tank called Alfred. These 2 engines were reckless. Those 2 cut off engines at junctions, always bashing their trucks way too hard, and even giving the passenger trains really rough rides. In 1969, she was sent yet again to work at a small shunting industry. The only engines there was a Fletcher Jennings F-Class and a Kerr Stewart Tattoo Class, but that railway didn't survive long because on January 19th, 1970, the railway closed and Jenny was abandoned. She was left abandoned from January 26th, 1970 to October 17th, 1970, and that's when the owner of the Skarloey Railway came and saved her. She was in the works for a very long time thanks to poor maintenance, and she didn't storm out until 1971. In 1981, when Harris joined the railway, Jenny and Harris knew each other from one of the many railways Jenny travelled to. In 2007, Jenny turned 130 years old, and she was given a full 2 days off and a huge surprise party. In 2011, Jenny turned 134 years old, and she was in an interview about the Skarloey Railway. Join me next time as we explore the MSR's old number 4 and the Skarloey Railway's number 16, Adeline. Don't forget to like and subscribe because we're literally 10 away from 300 subs. Thank you!